Ladies, gentlemen, and others, welcome back to Boz Comics. First and foremost, the response to the last couple of videos has been absolutely wonderful. Thank you for all the views. Thank you to the new subscribers. Everything is relative. And while this channel is still utterly microscopic by almost any metric, because the channel is so small, the almost like 10 subscribers or so that I've gotten in the last couple of days, that's a big deal for me. And I really appreciate each and every one of you. So I will say before I go any further, if you're watching this video, you like hearing kind of a different take on comic books and art and animation, manga, anime, cartoons, all manner of things, please consider leaving a like, leaving a comment, sharing your thoughts. Hit that subscribe button and that bell if you feel like being part of the Cool Kids Club. I would really appreciate having you here. All right, so what are we going to talk about today? What else? I'm going to follow up my thoughts on the Kindred reveal. I did a review yesterday of Amazing Spider-Man number 50, in which we got the truth. The truth is finally out there. It has been revealed to us. We know that Kindred is Harry Osborn. And I really fucking hated that reveal. I was so disappointed. I've been saying for a while now that if it turned out to be Harry, I would be devastated because damn, that would be so boring and predictable and safe. And that is in fact what happened. So I was kind of all over the place in the last video, more so than usual. Now I've had a little bit more time to process, to ruminate, if you will. So I thought I could share some further thoughts on the subject now that I've had a little time to center myself. So Kindred is Harry Osborn. Now the first question that comes up, which Harry, right? That's the really interesting thing. Is it Harry that is, or that has been running around in this universe? Now, we haven't seen Harry in a bit, but like, I guess the only real title, I'm only following a couple of titles right now from Marvel, Spider-Man and Daredevil and Ghost Rider, I think are the only Marvel titles I'm really following religiously right now. So I hadn't really caught this, but I guess from what I'm seeing, most recently Harry was showing up in the pages of Venom. So pretty recently, like as of like the last handful of months, he's been seen. He is a known quantity in the universe, in the Spider family. He's around, he's doing things. Okay, so Harry's here. And I guess somebody had said that in the pages of Venom, he's been being a little secretive. So that's interesting. So is Kindred the Harry that exists as part of this post One More Day continuity? Is the Kindred we're seeing now the resurrected Harry Osborn that exists as a product of Peter's infamous deal with Mephisto back at the end of Straczynski's run? Or is Harry / Kindred is Kindred pre One More Day Harry Osborn? And that seems to be the thing that a lot of people have brought up. I'm dumb sometimes. I am a dumb smart person. I completely missed that. I think I was so annoyed that it was Harry that I couldn't even think straight, and I really didn't fully consider the full implications of what was happening. So that's why or what it could mean, which is part of the reason I wanted to do this follow-up video. So if Harry is pre One More Day Harry, that does make things a lot more interesting. Still not my preference, but a lot more interesting. If Kindred is pre One More Day Harry, then that means there's no escaping addressing One More Day. Like we're gearing up now to deal with One More Day in a massive way. We're dragging it out of the closet, kicking and screaming. I would think, which is something that fans like myself have been wanting for more than 10 years. You know, imagine something you've been clamoring for since before you were old enough to have a drink. Okay. Like imagine something that like you, I have been wanting One More Day to be addressed and possibly reversed longer than I've been with my wife. And I've been with my wife. I haven't been married for more than a couple of years, but I've been with my wife for a very long time. Thank you very much. But I've been wanting this bullshit dealt with for far longer. So this is kind of a big deal. If this follows through to its natural conclusion, if it's pre One More Day, Harry, that means that there's no getting away from addressing One More Day unless they just really don't give a shit. But again, I don't think you would touch the third rail in this way. I don't think that Marvel would drag out pre One More Day Harry Osborn and not deal with the consequences. Right? Like, or the implications, I should say. Consequences was the wrong word. I don't think they would do that and not address the implications, because I don't think they would be quite so mean-spirited, right? Several writers have alluded to One More Day, right? They've even touched on it in Spider-Man Deadpool, which is not a book I really followed very closely, but I know it's much beloved by many people. And I know that like there's a story segment in there where Mephisto starts knowingly taunting Spider-Man for stupid editorial mandated decisions. So like other writers have touched on this. Like not everyone in Marvel is some weirdo who doesn't think that like married characters approaching middle age can be not everybody thinks that those characters can't be interesting, which thank God. Thank you for respecting some of us at least. So it's just some people. Others, they get it, and it's been touched on, and if Kindred / Harry is a way to deal with this, then I can look past the boring aspects of Kindred being Harry Osborn. If Kindred is a means to an end, if Kindred in and of himself is really not that interesting, but he is used to great effect, then I can forgive much. I can pretty much forgive anything and everything. If you can bring back the marriage between Peter and Mary Jane, or at least have them acknowledge the truth of what happened, even if they're still not allowed to get married, which is fucking stupid. But even if they weren't allowed to get married still, if it was like a thing where in character, they're like, but we know what happened now. We are cognizant of what happened. We are going to stay together. It is going to bring us together. But we also, if I were told like you have to like really like you have to address this marriage, you're not allowed to marry them again, but we got to at least give the fans something, then I would say, okay, so they're gonna be aware of what happened, they're gonna be aware of the deal, and it's going to strengthen them. It's not going to push them apart or anything like that just to piss people off. No, it's going to bring them closer together. They are going to be like together like never before. They're not getting married because of editorial bullshit, but in character, it's going to be explained like, they decide that they don't want to be manipulated. So because they don't want to be manipulated, they don't even want to be getting married as a response, like again, to what happened to them. Right. Something like that. That's how I'd explain it. Like, oh my God, I don't want to be getting married just as a knee-jerk response to what was taken from us. Like, it's bullshit what happened, but we are different people. We're in a different place. We know what happened now, and that can inform us going forward, but let's take our time. And when we decide the time is right, that's when we'll get married again. That's how I'd justify it if I had to justify that nonsense. We'll see. We will see. I am not sorry. I have a kitten who is 3 months old, and he has no boundaries. So he's currently climbing all over me. He makes it very hard to do these videos, but I'm going to try my best. But that's how I'd justify that bullshit if I had to. Now, beyond that, then my question becomes, are they going to just straight up undo it? Everyone keeps saying in the fandom, like, no, they'll never get married. And insiders have said, supposedly, I don't have Marvel insiders, but I've heard pundits online who claim to have Marvel insiders. And they say that anyone who is anyone always says like, oh, they'll never do the marriage again. The marriage is done forever. It's never coming back. But that was also stuff that was said 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, a year ago, 2 years ago. That was then. Much like Peter and MJ's marriage. But is it now? Right? These things can change at the drop of a hat. We've seen it time and again. So I wonder if, given the state of the industry, given the state of the fandom, Marvel could be like, we just need a fucking win. Yo, Nick, bring them back together. Fix it, Nick. Bring them back together. Which, by the way, is ironic. It's hilariously and horrifyingly ironic, because that was one of the big reasons why JMS was brought in back in the day. He was brought in specifically to bring Peter and Mary Jane back together. And then after a few dozen issues, they told him, and now you got to break them up. Bring in the devil. Fucking. Anyway. So it's interesting to me, like, could they just completely undo One More Day? Could we be pushing for another reboot, essentially, of Spider-Man after Nick Spencer's run? Is Nick Spencer's run going to take us to a place where the original continuity asserts itself? Because I'll tell you what, especially if Kindred is pre-One More Day Harry Osborn, he's already dead. So how do you defeat him? Oh my God, what if the only way to defeat Kindred is to reassert the continuity from before One More Day? I don't think this is likely to happen. This is like dream bullshit right here. Okay. That would be really fascinating. A couple of people in the comments section of my last video were saying, what do you think Kindred's plans are for, I think one commenter, said, can I actually pull this up in a timely fashion? Probably not. If I can pull this up in a timely fashion, I would love to give this commenter a shout out. Let's see here. I got tons of comments on that last video, which is quite frankly just not something I'm used to. Spider-Man videos do really well. Who fucking knows? I think it was Morgan Pogue. Morgan Pogue and I had a very nice discussion. Morgan, you are a wonderful human. Morgan had asked, like, what do you think Kindred's plans are for MJ? Yes. Yeah. What do you think Kindred's plan for MJ is? I still don't know. I don't know, because Kindred has made it clear that he doesn't actually like have any animosity for Spider-Man's friends and family. Which would fit, right? If he is a version of Harry has always kind of been sweet on MJ. I think they dated at least a couple of times back in the day before Pete and MJ became a thing. So that makes a lot of sense, that he wouldn't really want to hurt MJ. He wouldn't want to do anything. I'm wondering if even if this is pre One More Day Harry, if Harry, even if he's mad at Peter, if he's mad as all hell, if the whole thing he's mad about is One More Day, what if Kindred's whole thing is undoing One More Day? Here's an idea. What if Kindred's plan is to wreak so much havoc and just be such a terrifying force, an awful force in Pete's life, that he has no choice but to remember, confront, acknowledge, and undo One More Day? Wow. How crazy would that be, right? Like, and I could even see like Harry like being like, yeah, it doesn't matter who I kill or what I do, because you're going to have to undo all this. I'm just going to keep hurting people and keep doing like crazy shit until you are put in a position where you have to fix what you broke. Oh, Oh God, yeah, and he could do crazy shit. He could. I know I just said like he wouldn't want to hurt MJ or whatever, but clearly people coming back, like, okay, so here's the thing. So clearly people could be resurrected as a consequence of Pete's deal with Mephisto. It's the whole reason why a version of Harry exists. Now, if that's the case, if Mephisto's bullshittery can definitively bring people back to life, then maybe Kindred's reasoning could be like it's all, even people I love are fair game because I can just push you. I can do whatever I need to do to push you to fix this. It has to be really bad. I'll have to do a lot of damage. I will have to torture you immeasurably. I will have to do fucked up shit to MJ, to Carly, to Robbie, to Jonah, to your Aunt May. Like all this shit, I'm gonna fuck everybody up. I don't want to, but I'm going to. I'm gonna be as villainous as fucking possible until you fix this, Pete. Whew, man, if I were writing this villain, I think that's how I'd do it. And the more harm he was forced to do, the more frustrated and angry he would get at Spider-Man. Like, look what you made me do! Like, typical abuser bullshit, right? Dude, Marvel, fuck you, hire me. I will never write for Marvel in a million years. I would too. I would too. I know that the rumor is that unless you're a big shot, they really don't pay good at all, but I wouldn't even care. I would make a deal with Mephisto to do a full run on Spider-Man. It's what I've wanted most in my entire life. Literally, top aspiration ever has been to write for Amazing Spider-Man, and not just like a one shot. Like I want to do a run. I would love to write the best Spider-Man run of all time. It's probably my number one aspiration. Not ending world hunger, not curing cancer, right? Not ending the AIDS epidemic in Africa, writing the best Amazing Spider-Man run of all time. Fuck my life. Anyway, so that's kind of where I'm at. I've come around a little bit on the Harry reveal if what they do with it doesn't suck. If Harry is a means to an end, if it leads to an interesting place, then I can live with it. But right now, at least for me, I will admit, we are on thin ice here. We'll see what happens. All right. The kitten is climbing all over my fucking... kitten's climbing all over my desk again. I gotta end this video super fast. I'll see you guys next time. Okay, thanks. Bye-bye.